जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी माधव बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातिरावनचारी यमुनातिरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय गौरनीताय जय गौरनीताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद और प्रेमानंदे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार्य स्तोत्र सिद्ध श्रीमद शिवाय ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंदे श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार्य स्तोत्र सिद्ध श्रीमद शिवाय ग्रेस शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna everybody. Thank you for coming this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 60. This chapter is entitled Krishna teases Rukmini. So today we are going to discuss on text 9. Please first we'll repeat word to word. Tam Rupinam Sriyam Ananya Gatim Nirikshaya Ya Leelaya Dhrita Tanayor Anurupa Rupa Pritaha Samyamyan Alaka Kundala Niksha Kanitham Vrikror Shakat Samnita Sudhyam Harir Abhidakshase Tamropinam Sreya Ananyagatim Nirikshaya Ya Leela Dhrita Tanor Anurupa Rupaha Pita Samyaman Aloka Kundala Nikyakata Vakro Kshalat Mata Sudham Harir Abhidhasyate Tam Rupininam Sriya Ananyagatim Nirikshaya Ya Leelaya Dhrito Tanor Anurupa Rupaha Pita Samyayan Aloka Kundala Nikshakata Vakro Trashad Smita Sudham Harir Abhidhasyase Tam Rupinam Sriyam Ananyagatim Nirikshaya Ya Leela Dhrita Tanor Anurupa Rupaya Pita Samyanan Aloka Kundala Nikshakata Vikroshaya Smita Sudham Harir Abhidhasyate. Please chant. Tam Rupanam Sriyam Anannagati Nirikshaya Hari Param Parupaya Nidanayana Akroda Tamropiya Nanagati Nikshaya Yari Panarupa Rupaya Nikshaganda Akroda Vase Rupaya Visaya Jaya Rupa Vika Karaksa Kundalini Kantha Vakro Vasade You want it? Or we shall? Oh, okay. So we'll take the word to word meaning. Thank you for everybody chanting. Tam Har Rupinam appearing in person. Sriyam, the goddess of fortune. Ananya, having no other. Gatim, goal. Nirikshaya, seeing. Ya, she who. Leelaya, as his pastime. Drita, of him who assumes. Tanayo, bodies. Anurupaya, corresponding. Rupa, whose form. Pita, pleased. Samyan, smiling. Halaka, with the locks of hair. Kundala, earrings. Nikshaya, neck ornament. Kantaha, on her throat. Vakrata, face. Ulasat, bright and happy. Smita, smile. Sudham, nectar. Harihi, Lord Krishna. Abhibhasyase, spoke. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace. Srila Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. As he contemplated her, the goddess of fortune herself, who desired only him, Lord Krishna smiled. The Lord assumes various forms to enact his pastimes, and he was pleased that the form of the goddess of fortune has assumed was just suitable for her to serve as his consort. Her charming face was adorned with a curling hair, earrings, a locket on her neck, and the nectar of her bright, happy smile. The Lord spoke. The Lord then spoke her as follows. Purport: Srila Sridhar Swami quotes an interesting verse spoken by Parasara in the Vishnu Purana. Devate Devi Dehiram Manusyaste Cha Manushi Vishnor Dehi Rupinam Vai Kratyor Ismat Tanum. When the Lord appears as a demigod, she, the goddess of fortune, takes the form of demigoddess. And when he appears as a human, she takes a human like form. Thus, the body she assumes matches the Lord Vishnu takes. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur adds, as the Lord Krishna is even more beautiful than the Lord of Vaikuntha. The Lord Krishna's consort Rukmini Devi is even more attractive than goddess of fortune in the Vaikuntha world. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurulmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pasya Tadesatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Pancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. So today we are continuing our discussion from yesterday. So yesterday we see that the description of Rukmini Devi, how she is serving Lord Sri Krishna. She took the chamara from one of the maid servant. She started fanning Lord Krishna, and the yesterday we were discussing the whole description of her bodily features, like what bangles she is wearing, and which kind of chamara she took, and how she is fanning. So it is this description about the her bodily features and her mode of service. So today we see that in this verse, as he contemplated her, the goddess of fortune herself, who desired only him, the Lord Krishna smiled. So in this verse, it is basically again a description of the who is Rukmini and who is Lord Krishna. See, Krishna is none other than Supreme Personality of Godhead, we all know, and Rukmini Devi is none other than Goddess of Fortune. So, whenever the Lord descends in this material world, his expansions, his consort, and his personal intimate devotees also descend to enhance the pastimes of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, we see that uh, Lord Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata abhyudham aval dharmasya atmanam sujamyam and paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya tadushkatam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So in every millennium we descend in this world for two things, for annihilating the miscreants like demons, killing the demons, and second thing to re-establish dharma. To re-establish dharma, Lord, the purpose, he descends along with his consorts, along with his devotees. Like we see, it is a general thing that if any uh, important VIP is coming, so or any politician is coming to the to our place, or any famous personality is coming, first before he comes, make sure that all the arrangements are taken care properly, and make sure that all the security chinks are being done. So make sure that everybody are informed, and he doesn't come alone. He comes with his you know with his escort, with his security, and with his all kind of other friends, relatives. So here we see Lord Krishna also, when he descend in this world, He sends his devotees, intimate devotees, and one of the main intimate devotees is expansion energy, Shakti, which is Rukmini Devi, so goddess of fortune. She also comes in this, to enhance the pastime. It is not that when you heard king is coming, king will not come alone. He is before he comes, he sends his soldiers, ministers, all others. Then only he comes in the end. So similarly, same example is given here. So we see that when the Lord appears as a demigod, she also appeared as demigoddess. So wherever the Lord appears and his consort, they also take the form. We see in the Ramayana, all the Vanaras who are nothing but the demigods, and the wives of the Vanaras are also demigoddess. So wherever the Lord goes, along with his all the consorts, all along with his all followers, they come. So Rishila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also says uh, that Lord is even more beautiful than Lord of Vaikuntha. Why it is said here is, among the qualities of Krishna, there are four qualities which are prominent. One is Leela Madhuri, one is Rupa Madhuri, one is Prema Madhuri, and these are all the extra qualities we have. And Lord is, as we say, that there are what is a Leela Madhuri pastimes. There are more pastimes in Lord Krishna Leela, and another thing is Venu Madhuri. He has extra quality of flute, and Rupa Madhuri. He's beautiful, and Lord Vishnu does not have that much beauty, and Lord Krishna has peacock feather, and Prema Madhuri, intimate pastimes with his devotees. So these extra qualities possesses the Lord. That's why we see that Lord is even more beautiful than Lord of Vaikuntha. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments on this more. I just read this commentary. Seeing her with a beauty greater than the Lord of Lakshmi in Vaikuntha, Krishna spoke. The reason is given. She had assumed the form of corresponding to the form of the Lord for the pastime. Parasara has said, when the Lord assumes the form of Deva, Lakshmi assumes a Devi form. When Lord assumes the human form, she also assumes human form. She will assume a form suitable to the form of the Lord assumed. As Krishna is more beautiful than the Lord of Vaikuntha, so Rukmini is also more beautiful than Lakshmi. Krishna smiled slightly, thinking, it is proper that Rukmini has assumed the form of appropriate to my form. I will now joke with her and hear that what she will say. She had a sweet smile on her face, which illuminated the directions, being decorated with a curling lock of hairs, earrings, and throat of ornaments. So here we see that wherever Krishna goes, Lakshmi will follow. That's the material nature. So, in the pastime of uh, Lord Ramachandra, we see that when Lord Ramachandra was abandoned for the forest for 14 years, so Mother Sita also followed with him. It's not that okay, Lord was punished and Lord has to go, Lord Rama has to go, Sita cannot be. Sita, she was not punished actually. Sita has an option of staying in the palace, but she followed where that is an ideal husband and that is an ideal wife. So it is not that again Sita had his own, you know, way of following that she decorated and she came as a queen and she followed her. No, she also uh, followed Lord Rama, what Lord Rama form assumes. Like he just wore a simple cloth and she also has a simple cloth. So she followed him in the forest also with a bare fruit. She doesn't have any kind of costly ornaments on her body. She also took off everything. So we see that this is an ideal situation where one should follow. In this material world, we see that sometimes a man will he will have his own lifestyle, but his wife is also his has own one lifestyle. But the ideal thing is here we see that whatever the husband does, wife should have followed. So Krishna has assumed the form of human, and her wife has also assumed the form of human. So now we see that Lord Krishna started joking her. So this is chapter title Rukmini, sorry, Krishna teases Rukmini. So what is the Sri Jiva Goswami mentioned here? So the qualities of Lakshmi is superior than Vaikuntha again. So basically, there is comparing between the Vaikuntha who resides in the Lord and Lord Krishna who resides in the Goloka Vrindavan. What is that is comparison between these two personalities, and also who is more beautiful. So one should understand that. So Krishna possesses a human suitable pastimes, full capacity. So that sometimes people are astonished when Krishna assumes a form of human. How can he do extraordinary activities that is covered by Yoga Maya? So similarly, she appeared with the most exceptional beauty amongst all the Lord's consort. She was pleased with her intense emotion. He smiled because of her joking words, and since he was decorated with them only, she spoke in her own capacity. So here all the acharyas are giving the different narrations, but the aim is one. Because when you glorify Krishna's beauty, Krishna's qualities, that's what we need in our entire life. We should understand the Krishna's pastimes in depth, and also we should understand his qualities. It is not easy to say like, okay, God is great, but one should understand how great is the Lord also. Why we need to understand? As we said in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tatpataha taktva deham punarjanma naiti mame sorchana. So we should understand the pastime in the Lord in tatpata, not just by saying God is great, but how great he is. One should understand. Then only he can appreciate more, then only he can understand more, then only he can surrender to the Lord. If he doesn't surrender, or if he doesn't understand, then the aim of the human form of life is lost again. So the main point is here. So when Krishna assumes any form, like goddess of fortune is ready to take that form. So here we see that uh, to serve the Lord, the main purpose is to serve the Lord. Whether you know it is goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, or whether Radharani, or in any whether Mother Sita, the main purpose is to serve, whatever form it may take. But if the main purpose is removed to serve the Lord, then no matter whatever form you take, whatever facility you have, if your purpose is solved, if purpose is failed, then it is useless. So main purpose is to serve the Lord. One time there's one story. So in this narration, there was a wealthy man. He has um, four wives. So he was uh, having like having all kind of facility, and having all kind of opulence. So whenever a party, whenever there is a festival, or whenever there is a function, so he used to take his first wife. And whenever there is a meetings with big leaders, he used to take his second wife. And whenever there is a um, like meeting with his relatives, friends, he used to take with his third wife, and he ignored the last wife, which is fourth wife. So one time it happens, the wealthy man became old, so he was ready to leave his body. So then he called all the four wives and asked, "So now I'm leaving my body. So are you ready to come?" And first wife said, as soon as you leave the body, I just go away and I will leave immediately. He got disappointed and he asked second wife, "What about you?" I can only stay for a few days with your remembrance. After that, I will also get married with someone. And third wife responded, "No, I can come with you till the graveyard. After that, I will go with somebody." And he didn't even ask fourth wife because he didn't even care about her. So fourth wife responded, "Wherever you go, I will follow you." The lesson here is the first wife represent the beauty of a person. So he used to take his first wife wherever there's a function. Like when you are leaving the body, your beauty is deteriorated when you're becoming old. And second wife represent the opulence, money. So as soon as you leave the body, all your money is gone. Either your relatives or your friends or your kids, they will take away and they will forget you. And third wife represents the friends and relatives. The friends and relatives, they come to you with a till the graveyard. But the fourth wife represents the soul. Soul will always, super soul will always come, whichever whichever form you take. The lesson here is that one should be ideal. One should not be attached to the material things. So here is the purpose is to serve the husband. So here, Lord Krishna, when he took the form of any kind of a human form, any kind of demigod, any kind of form, goddess of Lakshmi is ready to take. So we should be also in the Krishna consciousness services. We should not be attached to the only one kind particular type of service. If it is needed to do any kind of service, you may be not expert in that, but at the same time there is no harm in learning. Even there is no harm in trying that service. One may be expert in doing like financial things, doing HR department, and if he is required, he asked to do deity worship, or if he asked to do kirtan, or if he asked to cook in the kitchen, or if he asked to do parts in the kitchen, or if he asked cleaning the floor, if he asked to give a class, it should be take the ready to give. He may not be expert. We see that in each department, in each area, some are expert, but some are not. But in Krishna consciousness, everybody should be expert in all the things. Srila Prabhupada used to say his disciple, you should know something about everything. So basic thing is Srila Prabhupada emphasizing on the few things one should know with his disciple. One should know how to cook. One should know how to give the Bhagavatam class. One should know how to driving. That is basic driving, and one should know how to manage. And other thing, one should know how to cook. Yeah, do deity worship. These things is required as a devotee. As a devotee means daksha, expert in everything. But one may not be expert in everything, but one should try to expert in one form, at least one area. Like each living entity in this material world has a personal relationship with the Lord, to in the mood of service. You know, we see in the pastimes of Krishna, like Mother Yashoda has a mother. She serve in Vatsalya, parental mood, and we see you know, his friends, Lord Krishna's friends, Sudama, they are in friendship mood, and we see other devotees like Nanda Maharaj, and he's in parental mode again. We see Balaram as a servant mode again. They are all expert in each and every aspect to service of Krishna. The main important is service of Krishna. If Balaram is service mode is to serve the Lord, whenever he wants to serve. Like in Ramayana, each personality has different mode of services. Like Hanuman has the servant bhav, and Lakshmana has a servant bhav. You cannot interchange the services. Like we see in the Ramayana, Hanuman is a Dasya bhav. In Mahabharat, Arjuna is in Sakya bhav, friendship. So if you ask Arjuna to shift in Dasya bhav, you know, as a servant, as a Hanuman, no, he cannot do that. But if you ask Hanuman to be friendship with the Lord, to make a friendship and put a hand around the shoulder of Krishna and go, means he will, he will punch on your face. He will not do that because his mood is to be a servant of the servant. Dasya bhav. So with each particular living entity, see in the similar way in this material world, all the living entities has each particular position in the Goloka Vrindavan, or post, at least each one has a mode of services. Somebody has a mode of decorating the Lord, somebody mood have glorifying the Lord, somebody mood has taking care of the things of the Lord. Yeah. In that way, but the point is here is to serve in a humble way. Not that okay, I'm now I'm serving Krishna, I'm decorating Krishna, I become so expert. If you become a proud again, there is a chances of falling down. But at the same time, you should serve in the according to the scriptural guidelines. There is in the nectar of devotion we see that Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrika Vidim Vina Anaitika Harir Bhaktir Utpata Eva Kalpate. What does it mean? Means like while service, we should see that this is this um, is this aligned with the Shruti, aligned with the scriptures, aligned with the Shastra, then only you can serve. Then only you should serve. It's not that okay, spontaneously I go and do the some kind of service. No, it is not like that. Spontaneously you may do, but it creates only havoc. For example, there was one incident. Srila Prabhupada was in I don't remember which place. Srila Prabhupada was asked one lady disciple, Mataji disciple, Prabhupada, I want to feed Krishna baby food. I am in the what you call Mother Yashoda Vatsalya Bhav. I want to serve Krishna as a baby food. Then Prabhupada said, no, you cannot do that. That is out of mental concoction. It's speculation purely. Srila Prabhupada has given standards. He said that you should feed a Krishna as a person who is a 16 years boy. What, how much quantity is needed to feed Krishna? So accordingly, you should serve the Lord. Not that I became now Mother Yashoda form. My mood is to, as Mother Yashoda. I want to serve. I want to have the Lord Krishna as my baby. It will create only havoc. You may feed baby food, somebody will do something else. Somebody will, instead of decorating Krishna with all kind of jewelry, somebody will only have a small cloth. This is my baby Krishna, I will just only tie small little cloth. And somebody will do, instead of decorating Krishna, somebody will just put some other things. You can name it. It will keep on going, it doesn't stop there. Somebody will say that okay, Krishna now I see as a Radharani mode, I will decorate him. Radharani, I will decorate into Krishna, Krishna into Radharani, or Krishna, I will do as what you Raja Bhav. Now I would like to play with Krishna Ras Leela. So so many kind of nonsense kind of people things. So that's why Srila Prabhupada has given guidelines as we should follow that, and we should carefully align our thoughts or our actions and our service to the scriptures, not according to our own mental speculation. So Srila Prabhupada, whatever the standards of deity standards he has given, we should follow that. Then only your service have a impact. Otherwise, today you woke up the Lord at 4:30. Tomorrow you will woke up the Lord at 8 o'clock. You know, today I would like to give Krishna rest because last night Krishna has performed pastimes. Last Leela. Today he should take rest. Today you think that we will give Lord Krishna simple food. Yeah, sometimes it happens. So my point is that even though you have a particular mode of service, even though you have interest of service in the Lord Krishna, in interest of service mode, but at the same time you should align with the shastras, align with the senior devotees who are serving. One time, uh, you know, in the Nasik temple, yeah, in Nasik temple, there was a devotee who decorated something extra. He put eyelashes on Lord Krishna. Bhakti Charu Maharaj says that, and he called immediately, and he says that what you have done, like who is a devotee who decorated this eyelashes on Lord Krishna? And immediately he was called, he was corrected by Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. He said that just follow what standards I have given. Don't do mental speculation. Now we see that eyebrows, eyelashes keep coming. It doesn't start. Doesn't end there. So when you have a mode of a service, you should check with the authorities, and you should check with the. Otherwise, it will create a havoc in the society. Especially in the community. So whether you are doing in the DT worship, or whether you're doing cleaning the floor, whether you're doing any kind of a service, it should be aligned in the first time. So why? Because to please the Lord Krishna, at the same time, mode of service should be carried all the time. Here we see that it is not when Lord took the form of human, and the goddess of Lakshmi, she did not say that no, I will not take the form of human. I will serve as a goddess of fortune. No, it doesn't. But the purpose is failed. So the main purpose of is here is to serve the Lord according to the guidelines of Shastra. So I'll just summarize today what we spoke. So here we see that goddess of fortune is ready to take any form to serve the purpose of the Lord. That first point. And to serve the purpose of the Lord, she is aligned whatever form of Lord, whatever pleases the Lord. That is first point. And ideal, that is called ideal wife and ideal husband. We discussed a few examples in Lord, in the Ramayana pastimes. And each person in this material world has a particular relationship with the Lord in the mode of service. So to know that mode of service, we need to clean our consciousness by chanting the holy name and by doing all regulative principles, following all regulative principles. Then only your mood is awakened. Then only you know what is a relationship between the Lord you have. And that is second thing. And when you are serving, make sure that your service should be aligned with the sadhus and the shastras. Don't serve according to your own mental speculation. So when you serve according to your mental speculation, then purpose is failed. So these are the things that today we have discussed. So if you have any questions or comments, we'll have it.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Some points that I found striking and relevant. Number one, that you mentioned that living entities, wherever Krishna, wherever Krishna is going, Radharani will follow. Wherever Krishna is there, the goddess of fortune will be there.
Yes.
And all the living entities, I understand all the living entities have this
Relationship.
God hunger, that they are hungry and thirsty for something that is Krishna, but they are looking for that thirst and hunger to be satisfied by looking for opulences of Krishna. But if they look for Krishna, then they will be filled. Krishna will be present there, but also the opulences and all the other things will be there. So, searching for Krishna, the living entities will find real happiness. But even if they are able to arrange for their opulences in such, in such a way that they wanted, but Krishna is not there, so that will be pseudo happiness. That thirst and hunger will not be satiated. Other thing that you mentioned, that I liked, and I'm realizing this more and more these days, that God, serving Krishna doesn't mean that I serve out of my own inclinations.
Mm.
I need to serve Krishna from God, good orderly directions. There's how much there is a need for me to listen to authority, listen to other human being, and not listen to myself.
Mm.
Because it is so easy to get lost,
Mm.
that there are so many voices inside us. you know Maybe one voice is Krishna's voice, but 100 other voices are our mind. So those good orderly directions will come from authorities.
Yeah. And nicely emphasizes because, as you said, there's so many voices. 99.9% is our own previous habits. Voices come up, and only Krishna voice we cannot hear. There is a saying, "Good dog and bad dog." Good dog and bad dog. You heard of that? So always bad dog barks. We feed bad dog, and bad dog voice only hear we loud. Why we hear only bad dog voice? Because it barks louder. Whereas good dog, even though it barks, we can't hear because its volume is low. Whereas bad dog always barks louder, and so that we can hear properly. So to hear good things, to hear the inner voice, good things, but at the same time, it is very challenging to hear only good voice. To have that, we need to practice regularly, you know, like applying these tools, hearing Bhagavatam, reading scriptures, chanting, following for regulative principles, and all kinds of these helping tools. Regularly reading, regularly discussion. These are all the tools Srila Prabhupada has given us, to cleanse our consciousness. Chanting, attending programs, hearing Bhagavatam, and discussion on Bhagavatam, and reading scriptures. If you do regularly, then you will only hear Krishna's voice. That may be, in due course of time, one will realize that. Srila Prabhupada says that nobody has to give you a certificate, or nobody has to recognize that you become a devotee. You yourself understand that. With this, because Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on your mind. Krishna, Srila Prabhupada often says in record, Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on our mind. It is naturally there. So, Nitya, but in the CC there is a verse like Krishna consciousness is always inbuilt. Nitya Siddha, I forgot the verse of that. So it is always inbuilt in the Lord. It is not artificially imposing from external. Just Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Shraddha Kabinaya. Huh? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Kshadam. So is the living entity is a eternal associate of the Lord. To revive that Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta. Hearing is a very powerful tool to revive our consciousness, to revive, re-establish our relationship with the Lord. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta. Our consciousness is polluted now. Chitta and Shuddha. How it will become Shuddha? Cleanse by constant hearing, chanting, following the regulative principles. Then it will can revived. Then you can hear Krishna's voice clearly. That's the thing. Thank you for bringing that point. Any comments and questions? Mataji.
He, through the course of the discussion, mentioning this particular point that Rukmini assumed a human-like form, and the description is that her face is so happy, and um, the idea that a woman just follows her husband. There's one can't overlook the point that's sort of implied in this particular verse that Rukmini also makes that choice.
Correct.
She chooses, so hence the happiness, because she's serving, and the happiness lies in the serving. So I just thought it was a little thing that I was thinking about.
Right. Thank you so much for bringing that point. Like while serving, also we should be happy and mood. Not that okay. No, I have no other choice. I have to do this. I'm forced to do this. No, that's not should be the mood. But as a living entity, we know that sometimes we, even though we don't like to do, but we have to do get that's process of that is a cat the that is the process of purification. Like sometimes you don't like to uh, what you call it chant during the fever, like when health is not good, or sometimes we our mind says today we cannot, no, we mood is not there, but still we have to force ourselves. That is the normal condition soul behavior. But whereas expansion of the Lord and personal associates of the Lord, they happy to serve in whatever form they take. The main purpose is serve. And at the same time they are also happy. It's not that they are given order. Now I'm taking this form. You guys take this form. There is no other choice. Not like that. In Ramayana, we see that all the demigods took the form of Vanara, which is monkey. No, it's not that no, they have given order. It's they see no, we they see that happiness. They serve while serving, they will get the happiness. That's the purpose. Whenever you serve the Lord, automatically you get the happiness. We see that people who are serving their material people, material life, they serve their boss, they serve their family, they serve their children, they serve their relatives, friends, they serve their say nation, society. Ultimately, the person who is served, a person who is serving, they both are not happy. Srila Prabhupada gives often example. Your master is not happy, servant is also not happy. Because Mahatma Gandhi, correct. I was thinking same example. Mahatma Gandhi served, I, like ahimsa dharma. He's a very, like a gentle person. He served in his nation, but ultimately, what happened? His own countrymen killed him because what act he did, he didn't like. He just killed because we see that failure. But in the service of the Lord, even you do some little bit service, it will have a greater benefit. Thank you for this. Okay, we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go.